Reading of the day, guys. It's me, Sahil Zamadar. Now we continue our reading. What do you do to start your day off on a positive footing? Actually, I have developed quite a sophisticated morning routine which includes everything from the heart of the rose to drinking a couple of glasses of freshly squeezed fruit juice. But there is one strategy in particular which I would like to share with you. Sounds important. It is shortly after you have awakened, go into your sanctuary of silence. Get still and focused. Then ask yourself this question: What would I do today if today was my last? The key is to really get into the meaning of this question. Mentally list of all the things you would do, the people you would call, and the moments you would savor. Envision yourself doing these things with great energy. Visualize how you would treat your family and your friends. Even picture how you would treat total strangers if today was your last day on the planet. As I told you earlier, when you live every day as if it was your last, your life will take on a magical quality. And this brings me to the seventh of the ritual of radiant living, the ritual of music. I think I'm going to love this one, I replied. I'm sure you will. The sages loved their music. It gave them the same spiritual boost as the sun did. Music made them laugh, it made them dance, and it made them sing. It will do the same for you. Never forget the power of music. Spend a little time with it every day, even if it is listening to a soft piece on a cassette while you drive to work. When you feel down or very, play some music. It is one of the finest motivators I know of. Aside from yourself, I exclaim sincerely, just listening to you makes me feel great. You really have changed, Julian, and not just on the outside. Gone is your old cynicism. Gone is your former negativity. Gone is your old aggressiveness. You really do seem to be at peace with yourself. You have touched me tonight. Hey, there is more, shouted Julian with his first fist in the air. Let's keep going. I wouldn't have it any other way. Okay, the eighth ritual is the ritual of the spoken word. The sages had a series of mantras which they would recite morning, noon, and night. They told me that this practice was immensely effective in keeping them focused, strong, and happy. What's a mantra? I asked. A mantra is nothing more than a collection of words strung together to create a positive effect. In Sanskrit, man means mind and tra means frenzy. So a mantra is a phrase which is designed to free the mind. And believe me, John, mantras accomplish this objective in a very powerful way. Are you using mantras in your daily routine? I sure am. They are my faithful companions whenever I go, whether I am on the bus, walking to the library, or watching the world go by in a park. I am constantly affirming all that is good in my world through mantras. So mantras are spoken. They do not have to be written. Affirmations are also very effective, but I have found that repeating a mantras aloud has a wonderful effect on my spirit. When I need to feel motivated, I might repeat, I am inspired, disciplined, and energized out loud 200 or 300 times. To maintain the supreme sense of self-confidence I have cultivated, I repeat, I am strong, able, and calm. I even use mantras to keep me youthful and vital, Julian admitted. How would a mantra keep you young? Words affect the mind in a pronounced way. Whether they are spoken or written, they are powerful influences. While what you say to others is important, even more important is what you say to yourself. Self talk. Exactly. You are what you think about all day long. You are also what you say to yourself all day long. If you say that you are old and tired, this mantra will be manifested in your external reality. If you say you are weak and lack enthusiasm, this too will be the nature of your world. But if you say that you are healthy, dynamic, and fully alive, your life will be transformed. You will see the words you say to yourself affect your self image, and self image determines what actions you take. For example, if your self image is one of a person who lacks the confidence to do anything of value, you will only be able to take actions which are aligned with this trait. On the other hand, if your self-image is one of the radiant individual who is fearless, again all your actions will correspond to this quality. Your self-image is a self-fulfilling prophecy of sorts. How so? If you believe that you are unable to do something, let's say find that perfect partner or live a stress-free life, your belief will affect your self-image. In turn, your self-image will prevent you from taking steps to find the perfect partner or to create a serene life for yourself. It will actually sabotage any efforts you might make in this direction. Why does it work this way? Simple. Your self-image is governor of sorts. It will never let you act in a way that is inconsistent with it. The beautiful thing is that you can change your self-image just like you can change everything else in your life. If it is not serving to enhance it, mantras are a great way to accomplish this objective. And when I change my inner world, I change my outer world, I said dutifully. My how quickly you learn, Julian said, giving me the thumbs up sign he had used to use so much in his former life as a star litigator. Which leads us into the ninth ritual of radiant living quite nicely. This is a ritual of a congruent character. It is sort of the self-image concept we were just talking about. Simply stated, this ritual required you to take daily incremental actions to build your character. Strengthening your character affects the way you see yourself and the actions you take. The actions you take come together to form your habits, and this is important. Your habits leads you to your destiny. Perhaps Yogi Raman articulated the formula best when he stated, you sow a thoughts, you reap an action. Reap an action, you sow a habit. Sow a habit, you reap a character. Sow a character, you reap your destiny. What kinds of things should I do to build my character? Anything that cultivates your virtues. Before you ask me what I mean by virtues, let me clarify the concept. The wise people of the Himalayas believe strongly that a virtuous life was a meaningful life, so they govern all of their actions by a series of timeless principles. But I thought you said they govern their lives by their purpose. Yes, this is quite so, but there is life calling included living in a manner congruent to these principles, ones that their ancestors held dear to their hearts for thousands of years. What are these principles, Julian? I asked. They are simply stated industries, compassion, humility, patience, honesty, and courage. When all your actions are congruent and aligned with these principles, you will feel a deep sense of inner harmony and peace. Living this way will inevitably leads you to spiritual success. This is because you will be doing what is right. You will be acting in a way that in accordance with the laws of nature and the laws of the universe. This is when you will start to tap into the energy of another dimension. Call it a higher power if you will. This is also when your life will move from the ordinary into the realm of the extraordinary, and you begin to sense the sacredness of your being. It is the first step of lifelong enlightenment. Have you tasted this experience? I asked. I have, and I believe you will too. Do the right things, act in a way that is congruent with your true character. Act with integrity. Be guided by your heart. The rest will take care of itself. You are never alone, you know, replied Julian. What do you mean? I will explain it to you another time perhaps. For now, remember that you must do little things every day to build your character. As Emerson said, character is higher than intellect. A great soul will be strong to live as well as to think. Your character is built when you act in a way that corresponds with the principles I have just mentioned. If you fail to do this, true happiness will always elude you. And the final ritual, this is the all important ritual of simplicity. This ritual requires you to live a simple life. As Yogi Raman said, one must never live in the thick of thin things. Focus only on your priorities, those activities which are truly meaningful. Your life will be uncluttered, rewarding, and exceptionally peaceful. This I promise you. He was right. The moment I started to separate the wheat from the chaff, harmony filled my life. I stopped living at the frenetic pace to which I had grown accustomed. I stopped living my life in the eyes of the tornado. Instead, I slowed down and took the time to smell the proverbial roses. What things did you do to cultivate simplicity? I stopped wearing expensive clothes. I kicked my addiction to the 6 newspapers a day. I stopped needing to available to everyone all the time. I became a vegetarian and I ate less. Basically, I reduces my needs. You see, John, unless you reduce your needs, you will never be fulfilled. You will always be like that gambler in Las Vegas, staying at the roulette wheel for just one more spin, in the hope that your lucky number will come up. You will always want more than you have. How can you ever be happy? But earlier you told me that happiness comes from achievements. Now you are telling me to reduce my needs and be content with less. Isn't this a paradox? Excellent point, John. Brilliant, in fact. It might seem like a contradiction, but it isn't. Lifelong happiness does come through striving to realize your dreams. You are at your best when you are moving forward. The key is not to make your happiness contingent on finding that elusive pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. For example, even though I was a millionaire many times over, I told myself that success to me means having $300 million in my bank account. This was a recipe for disaster. 300 million? I asked in disbelief. 300 million. So no matter how much I had, I was never satisfied. I was always unhappy. It was nothing more than greed. I can now admit this freely. It was much like the story of King Midas. I am sure you have heard that one. Sure, the man who loved gold so much he prayed that everything he touched would turn to gold. When his wish was granted, he rejoiced. That was until he realized that he couldn't eat because his food had turned to gold, and so on, so forth. Right, similarly, I was so money driven that I couldn't enjoy all that I had. There came a time when all that I could eat was bread and water, Julian said, growing very quiet and pensive. Pensive. Are you serious? I always thought you ate at least the best restaurant with all those celebrity friends of yours. That was in the early days. Not many people know about this, but the burden of my out of control lifestyle gave me a bleeding ulcer. I couldn't even eat a hot dog without getting sick. What a life! All that money and all I could eat was bread and water. It was pathetic, really. Julian caught himself. But I am not one to live in the past. It was another one of life's great lessons. As I told you earlier, pain is a powerful teacher. To transcend pain, I had to first experience it. I wouldn't be where I am today without it, he said statically. Any ideas on what I should do to bring the ritual of simplicity into my life? I asked. There are so many things you can do. Even little things will make a difference. Like what? Stop picking up the phones every time it rings. Stop wasting time reducing junk mail. Stop eating out 3 times a week. Give up your golf club membership and spend more time with your kids. Spend a day a week without your watch. Watch the sunrise every few days. Sell your cellular phone and dump the pager. Need I continue? Julian asked rhetorically. I get the point, but sell the cell phone? I asked anxiously. Feelings as a baby might at the doctor's suggestion that his umbilical cord should be cut. Like I have said, my duty is to share the wisdom I have learned through my journey with you. You need not apply every strategy to make your life work. Try the techniques and use those that feel right to you. I know nothing to extremes, everything in moderation. Precisely, I have to admit though, every one of your strategies sounds great, but will they really bring about profound shifts in my life in only 30 days? It will take even less than 30 days and even more, and said Julian, with his trademark look of dimpled mischievousness. Here we go again to explain a wise one. Julian will be fine, although wise one would have looked formidable on my old letterhead, he joked. I say it will take less than 30 days because true life changes spontaneously. Spontaneous? Yes, it happens in the blink on an eye. The very moment you decide from the deepest core of your being that you will raise your life to its highest level. In that instance, you will be changed person, one set of the curse of his destiny. And why longer than 30 days? I promise you that by practicing these strategies and tools, you will see marked improvements in 1 month from this moment. You will have more energy, less worries, more creativity. and less stress in every aspect of your life. Having said this, the sages' methods are not of the quite fixed kind. They are ageless traditions which are meant to be applied daily for the rest of your days. If you stop applying them, you will find that you will gradually slide back into your old ways. After Julian had explained the 10 rituals for radiant living to me, he paused. I know that you want me to keep going, so I will. I believe so strongly in what I am sharing with you that I don't mind keeping you up all night. Perhaps this is good times to get a little deeper. What exactly do you mean? I think all that I have heard tonight is pretty deep, I said in surprise. The secret I have explained will allow you and all those you come into contact with to create the lives you desire. But there is much more to the philosophy of the sages of Shivana than meets the eye. What I have taught you up to now has been immensely practical, but you must know something of the underlying spiritual current which flows through the principles I have outlined. If you do not understand what I am speaking about, don't worry at this point. Simply take it in and chew on it for a while. You can digest it later. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Precisely, said Julian, now smiling. You always were a quiet study. Okay, let's hear the spiritual stuff, I said energetically, unaware that it was nearly 2:30 in the morning. Within you lies the sun, the moon, the sky, and all the wonders of this universe. The intelligence that created these wonders is the same force that created you. All things around you come from the same source. We are all one. I'm not sure I follow you. Every being on this earth, every object on this earth has a soul. All souls flow into one. This is the soul of the universe. You see, John, when you nourish your own mind and your own spirit, you are really feeding the soul of the universe. When you improve yourself, you are improving the lives of all those around you. And when you have the courage to advance confidently in the direction of your dreams, you begin to draw upon the power of the universe. As I told you earlier, life gives you what you ask of it. It is always listening. So self-mastery and Kaizen will help me help others by helping me help myself. Something like that. As you enrich your mind, as you care for your body, and as you nurture your spirit, you will come to understand exactly what I am saying. Julian, I know you mean well, but self-mastery is the pretty high ideal for a 215-pound family man who, up to now, has spent more time on client development than personal development. What happened if I fail? Failure is not having the courage to try, nothing more and nothing less. The only thing standing between most people and their dreams is the fear of failure. And failure is essential to success in any endeavor. Failure tests us and allows us to grow. It offers us lessons and guides us along the path of enlightenment. The teachers of the East say that every arrow that hits the bull's eye is the result of 100 misses. It is a fundamental law of nature to profit through loss. Never fear failures. Failure is your friend. Embrace failure, I ask in disbelief. The universe favor. That's okay. That's enough for today. We continue our reading. Okay, bye. Have a good day.